Welcome to The Explainer. You know, whenever a dangerous new virus hits the headlines, it's completely natural for livestock farmers and consumers to feel a sudden wave of anxiety. And recently, the internet has been absolutely buzzing with some pretty scary headlines surrounding hantavirus and pig farms. The rumors are flying everywhere, and the confusion is very, very real. But today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We are separating scientific fact from internet fiction to give you the exact, grounded reality of what hantavirus actually means for swine production. So, with all the sensationalized headlines floating around out there, it brings us to the absolute burning question on everyone's mind right now. Whether you're running a massive commercial piggery, a small family farm, or you're just someone who enjoys eating pork, you're probably asking, should pig farmers panic about a sudden hantavirus threat? The short answer, a definitive, resounding no. Literally, you can take a deep breath right now. Hantavirus is not currently considered a major direct threat to your pigs. But hey, let's really dive into this, because while the short answer is no, the full story is absolutely fascinating and really requires our close attention to the facts. To truly protect your farm and understand the whole situation, we need to look straight at the science. Section 1. The baseline reality. What exactly is hantavirus? Well, first off, it isn't just one single thing. It's actually a whole group of severe viruses. The name itself comes from the Korean War back in the 1950s. It was first identified near the Hantavirus River. And it's important to note that these viruses are incredibly serious. Depending on the specific type and where you happen to be in the world, they can cause very severe, sometimes fatal diseases in humans, like hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, or HPS, and hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, or HFRS. It's a nasty illness, which is exactly why people get so worked up when they hear its name. Now here is where it gets really interesting. Look at the list of true carriers. We've got rats, mice, deer mice, cotton rats, and field rodents. Notice anyone missing? Yep, 0 pigs on this list. That's because, scientifically, rodents are the primary carriers. Humans usually become infected after inhaling particles that are contaminated by rodent urine, saliva, or droppings. The entire ecology of this virus is 100% rodent-centered. Moving on to Section 2, Fact versus Fiction, systematically debunking the myths. Okay, let's tackle the absolute biggest internet rumor right out of the gate, the idea that pigs are out there spreading hantavirus. Complete fiction. The scientific fact is that rodents are the carriers, not your pigs. There is literally no strong scientific evidence showing domestic pigs are major natural carriers or spreaders of this virus. Look, pig farms are facing real threats today. Diseases like African swine fever, swine influenza, porcine epidemic diarrhea, those directly impact pig survival and your farm's profitability. Hantavirus? It is not recognized globally as a major commercial swine disease. Pigs are just not the reservoir hosts here. And then there's this other wild piece of fiction going around, that eating pork can somehow give you hantavirus. No way. The fact is, transmission happens when you breathe in contaminated air, not by eating properly cooked pork. There is 0 strong evidence that properly cooked pork transmits this virus to humans. Plus, normal cooking practices destroy many harmful pathogens anyway. So there is absolutely no reason for consumers to panic buy or avoid pork just because of some flashy hantavirus headlines. So, Section 3, why the confusion? The historical baggage of pig farming. You might be wondering, why do pigs always seem to get the blame? Well, tracing the history of outbreaks kind of explains this psychological bias we have against them. In the 1950s, as we mentioned, hantavirus was identified as a totally rodent-centric issue. But then, jump forward to 2009, the swine flu pandemic. That influenza strain actually was partly linked to pigs. And in more recent years, with the Nipah virus and Japanese encephalitis, pigs acted as intermediate or amplifying hosts. Because of these very real historical events, a pattern just sort of formed in the public consciousness. People automatically assume every single virus outbreak involves pigs. But scientifically, each virus behaves differently, and hantavirus simply does not use the pig as a major reservoir. Which brings us to Section 4, the real threat, the hidden enemy on your farm. So here's the absolute crucial takeaway. Even though pigs aren't the primary carriers, pig farms are like a 5-star resort for rodents. Feed, water, warmth, waste. It's a complete paradise for mice and rats. And if infected rodents infest a piggery, they contaminate the environment. Think about your everyday farm chores for a second. Sweeping pens, handling feed, cleaning up droppings, entering poorly ventilated feed stores. These are the exact moments where farm workers could accidentally inhale contaminated dust from rodent waste. The real threat to human health happens right there, during those routine tasks.
And a rodent infestation isn't just a hantavirus risk. It is a total biosecurity breakdown for your whole operation. Rodents are notorious for carrying a terrifying laundry list of pathogens right onto your farm. Salmonella, leptospirosis, E. coli, swine dysentery pathogens. So while the pigs themselves might not be the hantavirus threat, poor rodent control absolutely threatens to spread a host of other incredibly dangerous diseases that will severely impact your herd's health and ultimately your bottom line.
Section 5. Protecting your farm. Actionable defense strategies.
So what do we do about it? The absolute most critical step you can take is aggressive rodent control. A single rat population can explode practically overnight if you ignore it, so you've got to be proactive. You need to seal holes in your buildings, store feed in rodent-proof containers, and clean up any spilled feed immediately. Don't give them a free meal. Cut back the tall grasses surrounding your barns where rodents love to hide. Use traps and bait stations carefully, and eliminate any stagnant water. At the end of the day, better hygiene simply equals better rodent control.
To stay ahead of the game, you've got to know what to look for. Here are your early warning signs of a rodent problem. Finding gnawed feed bags or droppings? Obviously, huge red flags. But you also need to pay attention to the subtle stuff. Strange smells, unexplained feed disappearance, scattered nesting materials, or noises at night in the rafters and walls. Catching these signs early allows you to act aggressively before a small family of mice turns into a massive, disease-spreading infestation.
And listen, because the primary hantavirus risk is respiratory transmission to humans, we absolutely have to enforce essential safety protocols for everyone working on the farm. If you're working in a dusty, rodent-infested environment, wear gloves and use proper masks. Crucially, avoid sweeping dry droppings directly. Why? Because that kicks the dangerous dust right up into the area trying to breathe. Instead, wet down and disinfect contaminated areas before cleaning them. This single step protects human health far more than anything else regarding this specific virus.
All right, wrapping things up with Section 6, the final verdict, fact versus fiction summary. Let's do a rapid-fire review of this checklist just to lock in everything we've covered today. Are pigs major hantavirus carriers? Fiction. Are rodents the main source? Fact. Does poor sanitation increase your risk? Absolute fact. Does eating cooked pork spread the virus? Fiction. Is rodent control essential on pig farms? Fact. It's your first line of defense. And finally, is hantavirus a major swine industry disease like African swine fever? Fiction. The real issue here is rodents and farm hygiene, not the pigs themselves. I want to leave you with this really powerful thought. Disease outbreaks will always create fear, but smart farmers survive through knowledge, not panic. Protect your pigs, protect your workers, and always separate scientific facts from internet rumors. By maintaining strong biosecurity and aggressive rodent control, you are taking the smart, actionable steps needed to keep your farm safe. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. But before you go, I want you to ask yourself, if the internet was wrong about hantavirus, what other costly myths are currently dictating your farm's biosecurity protocols?